Just months ago, the words banks and bailouts seemed to always go together, but not anymore. First, Goldman Sachs came out with boffo profits. Now, JPMorgan reports in excess of $2.7 billion in profits. GMA financial correspondent Bianca Golodriga is down on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, joining us for some context here. Good morning, Bianca.
Good morning, Chris.
Big numbers coming out from the banks, big numbers on Wall Street yesterday in the stock market all week long has been strong. What's driving all this?
Well, Chris, what we're seeing is that banks are finally doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're making a lot of money, right? We saw this stellar number come out of JPMorgan this morning on the heels of that great number out of Goldman Sachs. So the big question is, does a reversal in the bank system really mean that we're going to see a reversal for consumers and in the economy in general? And the answer is not really. The two aren't really directly related. If you look at where banks are still suffering, they're suffering on the consumer side. JPMorgan announced that they saw credit losses more than double from a year ago. Where they are making a ton of money, however, is in their investment banking and trading divisions. And that in and of itself is a good sign because it's showing that the credit markets are really starting to ease, Chris.
All right, so good for the financiers. But now let's look at us for a second. Any signs of hope for us? We hear unemployment is still continuing to increase. We hear a lot of people saying they can't get loans from these banks that are making all this money. So where's the hope for the rest of us?
Well, JPMorgan's coming out and saying that they made a lot of loans. They lent out over $150 billion worth of loans. So the banks are arguing that statement right there. But we're seeing two sides to the story here. On the one hand, we did get some positive news. We saw that credit card delinquencies actually went down for the first time in a long time in the month of June. The Federal Reserve actually came out and said that they revised their outlook for the economy. Instead of contracting 2%, now they expect it to contract by 1.5%. But they also expect to see unemployment hit 10.1% by the end of the year. Chris, that is a hard number to swallow. 1 out of every 10 Americans without a job.
Certainly, we need to see recovery that goes far beyond the banks. Bianca, thank you very much for the reporting this morning.